This is the largest glass recycler in Louisiana. But just a few years ago, the state didn't recycle any of these bottles. Franziska Troutman decided to change that.
Why don't we have glass recycling? How is this not a thing?
She co-founded Glass Half Full in a backyard in 2020. And now,
we can pretty much process all the glass going to Louisiana landfills.
the US only recycles about 30% of the glass it uses, even though it's one of the most recyclable materials in the world. Franziska's team also makes glass sand to rebuild Louisiana's shrinking coastline.
When you grow up in South Louisiana, our coastal erosion crisis is like the boogeyman. It's looming in the distance of this huge, scary thing that's happening to our state.
But if glass is so versatile, why does the US recycle less than many other countries? And can businesses like this make an impact? Fran's 3-acre recycling plant lies just outside of New Orleans. It's more than 3 times the size of her old facility, which Business Insider visited in 2022.
When we talked a couple years ago, there was that mountain of glass that felt a little overwhelming at times, like we could never keep up.
Now, the team works through this glass pile in less than 1 day. About 9 trucks arrive at this facility every weekday, carrying glass from homes and businesses up to 140 miles away. This hopper crushes it and drops it onto a conveyor belt, where a worker picks out anything that isn't glass.
So these are some of the things that have been picked out. Scissors, tongs, and this remnant that was definitely from a bachelorette party. I don't know if you could show that on the internet.
The conveyor belt carries the material through multiple rounds of automated sorters. Optical sorters use high-speed cameras to separate glass by color and remove contaminants like label pieces.
The glass that's not clear is sent outside that we call gramber, so it's like green, amber glass mixed.
This crushed glass is called cullet. It's broken into roughly 2-inch pieces and sorted by color. It can be used to make new bottles, cutting down on the need for mined materials like silica and limestone. Clear glass cullet is called flint. To be usable for new bottles, it has to be almost entirely clear, so it goes through color sorting twice.
It's kind of called a flint cleanup system because that's our main product.
Any pieces that are too small to be cullet go through a pulverizer, which crushes them into soft sand.
The byproduct of making cullet is fines. That's what the industry calls it. They really go hand in hand and they work really well together in terms of the process.
You could rub your hands against it, it's not going to cut your skin. It's 100% glass, but it is as powdery as any beach sand you can find.
A sifter catches any stray larger pieces, which go back through the process again. It's a big improvement on the tiny machine at Glass Half Full's old facility, which was so small and slow it held the whole plant back.
It's night and day between this and our old facility.
The team has finally collected enough cullet to fill 1 rail car. This load is off to Oklahoma.
It didn't make sense to truck that material, just economically and environmentally. And luckily we found a partner that had rail access.
Its final destination is a bottle maker, Anchor Glass Container, which takes in hundreds of thousands of pounds of cullet each day. Today, Fran is touring the facility for the first time.
Is that a bottle in the cullet?
Like,
whoa.
oh yeah, so like there's still like a little bit of a barcode kind of thing in there.
It is. So it's been basically since we started 5.5 years of building up the glass recycling system down in New Orleans in order to make this work.
Inside the plant, a 2,800-degree furnace spits out molten blobs of glass called gobs.
Shears automatically cut it to the exact same weight every time.
Oh, my favorite parts are the glass globs.
Say that over.
The molten glass gobs. Say that 3 times fast.
The gobs travel to a row of molds that press them into a bottle shape.
Some of our machines will make as many as 300, 400 bottles a minute.
The whole plant can make about 2 million glass containers a day. The final bottles are made from about 20% cullet and 80% new material. Using the recycled cullet keeps glass out of landfills and saves energy.
And it melts so much quicker and so much easier than using raw material at 100%.
The plant runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for years at a time. It only shuts down when the furnace's brick walls wear out and need to be rebuilt, which happens about every 15 years. Anchor Glass makes beer, liquor, and soda bottles for beverage companies, plus jars and other containers for things like salsa and condiments. A conveyor belt carries them through what's called an annealing layer, a long oven that helps the bottles cool down gradually, which makes the glass more durable. The other half of the plant is the cold end. A sprayer applies a food-safe coating, which helps the bottles move along the line without scraping each other. Cooled bottles go through quality inspection before they're packed onto pallets and wrapped in plastic for safe shipping.
At the bottom of bottles, you can see who made it. So now when I'm in New Orleans, I can go on the shelves and see if there's any Anchor Glass bottles, and then maybe my cullet's in there. You never know.
They might even end up at the famous Hotel Monteleone. Its landmark carousel bar has been a staple in the French Quarter for decades.
The carousel bar has been spinning since 1949. I think a lot of people get a kick out of the fact that you'll start in one place and before you know it, you're in a totally different place.
The hotel is one of Glass Half Full's biggest suppliers of glass.
2024 alone, we went through nearly 500,000 pounds of glass, which is quite a bit. We're certainly doing our part to help the environment.
Before they partnered up, all the glass went to a landfill. Now, the team collects the glass in these blue bins, filling up about 2 of them per day.
I don't think anybody truly comprehends the amount of garbage and glassware and other things that end up in landfills until you start separating it and seeing it for yourself.
A Glass Half Full employee picks up the bins 3 times per week. The local government does not offer glass pickup, partly because there aren't enough recyclers in the area to send it to.
The key is collection. So for us, we're only able to collect what we physically collect down in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama.
Residents can drop off their containers at Glass Half Full for free, or they can pay to have it picked up. About 80% of Americans have access to curbside recycling at their homes. But not all programs take glass, because it's expensive to transport and process. And even in places that do collect glass, it's often mixed with other materials. If it breaks in these mixed bins, it's hard to separate out and might be too small for recycling. Overall, the U.S. glass recycling rate is about 31%, and the rest mostly ends up in landfills. But states with deposit programs that pay people to return glass containers tend to have much higher rates, about 63%. Belgium, Slovenia, and Switzerland recycle over 90% of their glass, and they make companies that use glass containers pay a fee to cover the cost of recycling. Some countries simply wash and reuse glass containers, cutting back on the energy that goes into crushing and remelting them. But reuse works best when most bottles are similar to each other. Back at Glass Half Full, they get glass bottles and jars of all shapes and sizes.
I'm amazed, I really am. I didn't realize there's so many wine bottles and brands, and you got blue bottles, stretch, you got dark blue, pink.
Fran says she's proud this mountain is shrinking.
Since we started in 2020, the issue was always too much glass. The cool thing about this facility is that's no longer the issue. We've overbuilt it so that we have so much room to grow because we know there's so much more glass to get.
Right now, the facility only processes glass 2 or 3 days a week. That leaves them time to work on coastal restoration projects, where they're rebuilding land to protect communities from erosion and flooding. They've already created 2 small islands in the bayou next to the plant, and are working on more by building circular walls out of burlap and untreated wood. Then they pump a slurry of sand and water into the middle of each. Some of the sand is their own recycled glass, while the rest is from the bottom of the Mississippi River. The project, funded by the National Science Foundation, allows them to compare how native plants grow in each.
These comparisons are based on our preliminary studies in the greenhouse. So we've sort of expanded into the field
So we've planted bulrush, we've planted maiden cane, we've planted willow trees, cypress trees. On this island, we'll also add tupelo trees and just, all native wetland marsh species that were here at one point and that we want to bring back to this area.
And just a few months after building these islands, more plants and wildlife showed up.
You can see behind me, the plants are already moving off the island, which is the goal. We put a trail cam on our islands project and we saw just the coolest stuff. Gators, tons of birds, so many different types of birds. A river otter on our islands. It took a poop.
Wildlife like this can lose essential habitat when a large storm comes through, turning wetlands into open water.
Everyone feels powerless against it.
Researchers estimate Louisiana has lost more than 2,000 square miles of coastal land since 1932. There are many reasons why, including engineering decisions made more than 100 years ago. Canals built for oil and gas exploration brought in saltwater that destroyed freshwater ecosystems. On top of that, New Orleans is surrounded by levees and dams built to keep water out, but they also keep out the sediment flows that naturally replenish the land. So the coast keeps shrinking.
We knew we could use sand locally for things like coastal restoration and helping to restore and protect our beautiful state.
Fran and a team of volunteers want to build the coastline back. Back in 2022, they partnered with the Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. Together, they restored a wildlife refuge called Big Branch, which was hit hard by Hurricane Katrina in 2005. These sacks from local coffee roasters are filled with 35 pounds of sand made from their crushed glass bottles. They layer the sandbags in a line and plant bulrush shoots. The idea is that by the time the bags biodegrade, the plants will take root, creating new land. The restoration team says they know this work alone can't solve the state's enormous land loss problems.
We hope to just be a small part of the total solution to help bring back our wetlands and protect our coast.
More than 3 years later, this new land is still holding strong. And satellite images show it continues to grow.
It feels unbelievable, honestly, going back to places that were open water and are now filled in marsh. To see a crab and be like, yo, I helped bring back this place that you're now molting in. They never would have been able to do that, and they're just chilling. They have no idea.
My bedroom is just filled with sand. My bed sheets always have, it's like the whole room is sandpaper at this point. It's like a beach house, exactly, it's perfect.
Not only you're drinking to have fun, but you're also helping save the city.